station. You're listening to this is Radio Biafra. Radio Biafra.
Yes, once again, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom, men and women of goodwill, conscientious people, wherever you all over the world, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to you, good night, depending on your time zone. This is Radio Biafra Extra, and we are streaming live through Radio Biafra London. Radio Biafra London is being anchored by the deputy leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. His name is Mazi Uche Ukafo Mefo. He is from Abatete. Abatete is in Anambra State, and Anambra State is Biafra land. Mazi Uche Ukafo Mefo is the man who has simply assured us that he will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. Only very few will understand the mindset behind those words. He is standing in a deputizing capacity on behalf of our supreme leader, Mazi Nande Okukano. He is the king of Afari Beku. Afari Beku is in Umuahia. Umuahia is in Abia State. And Abia State is Biafra land. He remained the one and the only man who stood up to speak for the collective interest of the Biafran people. For almost 6 decades, nobody have done this. He is the director of Radio Biafra as well as Biafran Television. He is the leader of the self-acclaimed indigenous people of Biafra. Ndiara. Nobody commands our loyalty. And by the grace of Chukwu Kikabiama, I remain George Onyeibe. I come from Abo. Abo is in Delta State, and Delta State is Biafra land. And then, without wasting much of our time, before I acknowledge the Creator, I must call upon Biafrans wherever you are. From Igede to Iyala to Idoma to Igala. Down the way to Ogoni, Andoni, Ikwiri, Kalabare, Okereka, all the way to Mbiama, Patane, Otueke. Everywhere in Delta, Urubu, Shekiri, Ole, Abraka, down to Runigbe, all of you, Ozano Gogo, Ibake, Boto, Ewuhimi, Umudo, all of you. Umunida, Komazo, Wiri, Ekuoma, Anyoncha, Anyoma, all of you wake up, Biturum, Banombi, Siamando, Bankwiri, Olo, Oku, Oka, Mbose, Okija, Ubosi, Mpo, all of you wake up. Uburafo, Umbulafo, Akwa Ibom, Efiki, Bibio, Anam. You know yourself. You know yourself. This is the time to wake up. We cannot deceive other people, and at the end, we will deceive ourselves. So tell yourself the truth. Tell the truth to the next generation. That in the end, after everything we have suffered, we can be able to come back on the same round table, look at each other in the face, and tell the story of how we overcome. Let me acknowledge the Creator before we proceed this evening. Onyeibe iziteo ndị mozi ya o kọgbapụta anyị ịmakwa n'ọnọdụ anyị na-emetụ ya n'obi ọ na-emetụ ya obi mgbe niile eze anyị ga-adị ndụ ọkwa gị bụ echeta obi esike o ọkwa gị bụ ike anyị ji aga o ọkwa gị kewara osimiri le imekwa ọnwa anyị ga-akọtụrụ ime ọkwa gị yo Chineke oke mmiri na-ebu ogwe ọkwa gị yo Chineke ma na-ebuchi ibuchi me na-ebuchi m ibuchi anya anyị ji ahụ ụzọ agada gbajiri zọnwoke bioma olileanya nke ndị Biafra o anyị na-erere ọkụ na anyị agbara ọkụ ogene ka ga-eji toro gị yege nna aga na-akwụ isi ala yege zanyo na-ebuchi anyị o anyị na-aja gị mma o maka n'eziokwu na mara mma ịhụnanya na gị obiọma gị o juru anya dadi o inwe gị mgbanwe o ọ dịghị onye dịka gị ịbụ Alfa na Omega anyị niile na-asị na ịdị mma o ise. And of course, as always, on this segment, our team remain back to your root, back to our root. If there is anything that has been stolen from us, that we must do all that is within our power to make sure we return it, to make sure we retrieve it, to make sure we recover it, I can assure you that is identity. The imperialists, the real terrorists, the invaders, they go by the name colonial masters. They are everywhere across the globe. Their children are waking up. I can only pray to the Almighty Creator that He help the children of these terrorists, these invaders, to embrace the truth and make amends, because posterity will judge all of us, and karma and the law of retribution must get to everyone without a miss, without a shred of doubt, without any mistake. They stole oil from Africa. They stole gas from Africa. They stole silver, diamond. They stole everything. They even stole Africans. And somebody said they have been wondering, why is it that all the continent in the world, only Africa is called mother? And that is why they can rape her easily. They stole everything from us, but stealing our gas and oil did not reduce us. Stealing our gold and coal did not take anything from us, because we really don't have need for it. But the greatest thing they took from us is our culture and tradition, who boils down to our identity. For quite some time, the greatest battle IPOB is fighting is not the Fulani Hausa Yoruba alone. Yoruba Hausa Fulani are there. We will fight to the end. But one of the greatest battle is the battle of mistaken identity. Ijo are not Biafra. Enugu are not Biafra. Agbo are not Biafra. We are trying to gather all of you. Something has been taken from you. But one day you will understand. Maybe in your grave, a simple gospel has gone forth. Reclaim yourself back. Reclaim yourself back. Deliver yourself. Emancipate yourself from this colonial terrorization. You have been psychologically destroyed. But this is the time you wake up. You may not accept it. It may make you feel irritated. But in the end, you will shout, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Did anybody say Black Lives didn't matter? Yes, it does. You are the one who has failed to recover yourself, because you agree that everything about your ancestors, they are evil. The level of damage is so bad that you can't even accept anything from your ancestors. And that is why sometimes when I look at all of you fighting for your ancestral land, I wonder why you are fighting for your ancestors' land and you don't love them. And at the same time, I can now understand why some people do not care about the ancestral land. We are talking about restoring the land of Biafra, the land of the rising sun. Many Biafrans don't understand. How will you understand? I don't blame you. That is why we are here. Back to your roots. They didn't rely in keeping you down on your neck by stealing your gas and oil. They didn't rely in keeping you down with AK-47. As far as they can divide you, they can rule you. If there is no oil to steal again, Britain will begin to sell your kidney and your liver. Britain will do that. So when we say go back to your roots, that is the beginning of restoration. That is the beginning of recovery. And believe me, we shall recover in the end. Like I said on this segment, our team remained back to your root. And in our last segment, we looked at the importance of music, or the purpose of our central music. We've been able to look at a very range way, the purpose of music, the type of music. We were made to understand that music was a means of communicating with the spirit. It was also a means of communicating with the spirit. It was a means of educating people. It was a means of motivation. It was a means of encouragement, entertainment. It was a means of lamentation. And it was a means of consolation. And without wasting much of our time this evening, we will look at spiritual implication behind musical instrument as regard to its ritual. And now I started this program by playing a particular music. It's a Biafran music from precisely Akankpa in Cross River State. That is their own art logo music, or Concord music, or whatever name they call it. But when we begin to talk about recovering our identity, let me not go far anyway. When you look at our ancestors in the ancient time, before they were invaded, they have their own music as well as their own musical instrument. Their music and their instrument helps them to know, to recognize who is coming, who is at the door, who they are expecting. And so the moment you release your music, they know who you are. Those of you from Akankpa, the area where this music was made, or whose people it's their traditional music, if you are with them now, they are very happy. They are just very happy. Those of them outside Biafra land wish they are at home. Those of them who were part of the generation that enjoyed this music will remember back in those days. Back in those days. Because music is not just your cultural heritage, eventually it is your identity. If time would have permitted me, I would begin to play traditional music of Ikwere, of Kalabare, of Okereka, of Urobo, of Ishekiri, of Igbo, of every languages, tribe that are in Biafra land. And you see all of them know. When they hear the sound, they know. It calls for them, whether they like it or not, whether they understand the language or not, but the music beckon on them. And somebody say, no, it doesn't matter. It's just ordinary music, very archaic. Let me tell you that it took the Bible to narrate the creation of the world in the book of Genesis and lay the foundation of the very religion we talk about. But after the chapter 1 of the Bible, chapter 2 of the Bible, chapter 3 of the Bible, chapter 4 of the Bible continue to talk about music and invention. One of the greatest lessons I learned as a Christian is that God is a record keeper. He does not play with chronicle. And that is why around chapter 5, he gave chronicle. And Noah, Adam gave birth to Abel, Abel gave birth to Cain, Cain gave birth to Cush, Cush gave birth to Juba, Juba gave birth to Jupan. And that is how they continue. And in the days of Noah, he brought the generation to an end. And then after the flood, he started with the children of Lot. And then you go to Abraham. And then you move ahead to others, Isaac, Jacob, and the rest of them. And in the days of the justice, he brought an end to them, and he started all over after they left Egypt to the days of the judges. From the judges, he put an end to it. It was the days of the prophet. And after the end of the prophet, he gave them another record of chronicle. It was in the days of Jesus Christ. And you go back to the book of Matthew chapter 2 to be precise, he began to give you the genealogy, how Jesus came. God is a record keeper. And if God is keeping record of ordinary name that you don't even value your ancestors' name, You see, on that day when the book of life will be opened, they will call your father's name. You will not be there because you are answering another person's name. But you won't understand. These are sometimes knowledge too hard for you to understand. But I tell you, if you cannot recover yourself, your identity, you are wasting your time. You can shout Biafra from here to tomorrow. You don't value your village and you are somewhere fighting for us. Go and sit down. Because some of you, well, how does it concern what we are doing? This is back to your root. Will he give us Biafra? You think all these things, we are team will give us Biafra? You are not even ready for the journey. It's very important. Chapter 4 of the Bible, God began to expose, or rather to keep record of inventors. And this man, in his time, they started fashioning weapon with iron. And this time, in his time, they started doing this with that. And this time, in his time, and then in verse 21, he said, in the days of what is the name? How do you pronounce it? Jubal. Men begin to worship God with instrument. Men begin to worship God with instrument, which means before then, men were not worshiping God with instrument. They were worshiping God ordinarily. We are going to look at some areas of this study, and so that it will help us. Like I said, God took time to say, this man, it was in his days, people start using musical instruments. Our ancestors spent time dedicated to the invention of musical instrument, which you need today. But we must go back to find out and try to understand the importance of this musical instrument that they have invented. Our ancestors moved ahead to introduce musical instruments. If I take you back to the book of Ezekiel or Isaiah, the Bible describing Satan, the Lucifer, who was actually a chorister in heaven, he came with his own musical instrument. And then when you come back to ancestors of every people, not only Biafran, but of course my attention is to Biafra. Our fathers understand the need to invent their own musical instrument. It is only when it comes from the Bible and then it become holy, we now love it. And then all of you are carrying a Fulani cow horn and blowing it and telling me it's trumpet sound. How can an Igbo man use the Fulani cow horn to blow trumpet and you think Chuko Kikabiama will answer? He will not answer. Our fathers understand this truth. In the wall of Jericho, when they blow the trumpet among other musical instruments, these were the cultural musical instrument. God know that when they blow this trumpet, it is the Israelis. And he was going to respond. You can imagine now we are going to war front. We say when we play guitar, you begin to respond. Can you tell me the sound of guitar that anybody will hear without electricity? And then you will play that guitar, your finger will get out. And nobody will hear it, not to talk of obeying you. But the point is, if these things does not have significant role they play in our life as a people, can somebody please tell me why our ancestors spent time producing this musical instrument? Let me digress a little bit. There is a drum. It is tied to Yoruba tradition. Yoruba don't play with it. It has a curved rod for beating it. And on the side it has twines of leather across the surfacing leather, which is meant for beating. They put it in their armpit. And anytime you hear that drum, this is Yoruba. You can't take it from them. They are very proud of it. It is their culture, it is their tradition, it is their heritage. Don't you understand? You think their father was stupid? You think they were drinking Pami and are talking about British and American politics to invent that thing? Do you know the spiritual ritual power that drum influence? You will not know. You will not know. It beat in their favor, not in your favor. I don't intend to go deep, but if you cannot love this thing as ordinary as they are, you will not love them even when you know the spiritual implication. That is one mystery about life. What you do not value, you cannot die for it. What you don't value, you cannot die for it. You don't know the value of anything, so you will not go for it. Only those who know the value of that which makes money insufficient abandon money and pursue the right thing. Only those who know the value of Biafra abandon money, abandon connection, abandon gentleman and come for it. Because indeed there are something that make money insufficient. You go to the Hausa Fulani, they have their own drum. But they are not the one I'm talking about this evening. I'm talking about Biafran tradition. And now let's try to remember some of their musical instruments. I don't know all their names, but at least I know some. And of course, when our lines are open, you tell us more. They invented Ekwe. There is one they call Ekwe. It may not be the same thing in your own dialect as a Biafran, because we have different dialect, different language, the same people. We have the one known as Ekwe. Ekwe is carved out from a tree known as Ebu. And they take this tree and they bore hole in the middle of the tree, leaving a tiny opening at the surface. And Ekwe can produce up to 7 different keys on that wood. Ekwe. Our ancestors understand keys of keyboard. They didn't go to school. They did not go to Europe. They were doing that already. They have Ekwe. They have Oja. Like I said, what I'm pronouncing in my dialect may not be the same in your dialect. But as I'm describing them, find out what it is called in your language. Your father made, your ancestors made it. I say ordinary Ekwe have up to 7 musical key. And then you have Oja. Oja is it also carved out from wood. It has only 4 holes. One at the bottom, one at the top, and 2 at the side. Made of wood. This Oja, when you put your finger across the 2 by the side, and then another of your finger goes under it, and then your mouth is on top of it. There is no kind of sound it does not produce. That 4 hole can produce any form of key. They communicate with them. Oja. Oja, that is what we call it. It's musical instrument. It serves for a purpose. Go and ask the ancient wrestlers. Go back to Things Fall Apart and look at the original Ibubedike. As he blow the flute. As he blow the flute. The spirit of the ancestors will pay attention and listen to him. Because they carry, music carries spiritual rituals. That is one thing you don't want to hear because you are a black man. That is 3. I have mentioned Ekwe. I have mentioned Oja. And then we talk about Udu. Udu is a clay pot. A clay pot like drum. And they form a foam. Before they had foam, they used palm frond to form something like a foam. Very thick. As a child, they used to use it in the Catholic Church. I don't know about now. Udu, that is what we call it. When they are singing, it was specially for bars. Udu. It's a clay pot. All you need is to use the foam to hit the cover. It will send a vibration. Udum, udum. It was a musical instrument meant to generate bars. And then we have our ancient jita and a way to play it. And then we have different type of drum releasing different kind of sound, keynote, different type. There is barely any musical instrument we are importing from China and Japan today that our ancestors did not have. But the point is, why do we abandon them? What are their names? We move to the second point. It is important we understand the name of all these musical instruments by our ancestors. Because the music they make is not like any other music. All these things that are hidden from us is written in the Bible. But people are reading the Bible to buy motor, to go to heaven. And then they lose sight of everything. If I see people telling me about the Bible, I will only pray that God will open your eye to see. When the spirit from the devil sent by God to torment King Saul come upon him, that he grieved very wickedly, painfully, tormented by this spirit of devil from God upon Saul's life, nothing could cure him. Only music. All those mad people in Biafra land, if we know how to play this music, they will run away. You will invoke spirits that will chase our enemy away. Somebody say, sinful. Go to the ritual book of songs and praises, which is the Psalm of David. A chapter of the Bible, one of the biggest chapter of the Bible, is dedicated to the ritual of songs and praises. But you won't understand. And so when Saul was afflicted by the spirit of devil coming from God, nobody could help him until David will come. And then David will play that holy music. Holy music. And Saul will be well. He didn't take any drug. And in fact, David dedicated a song to it. David, the psalmist of Israel. And so you must try to find out, even though you don't understand. Go and find out. Because every music no be musical. If you have been in a spiritual warfare, you will understand the power of song. If the religion given to us by criminals, by terrorists and rapists, you believe in the wonder of their ritual of praise and worship, what about your ancestors who they demonize? I've been to many religious houses. I've seen men and women worship with passion. And believe me, not until you have true value for your culture and tradition, others will soon sell it for you. Imagine when the whole world gather. A European man will sing in his tradition like a European. An American man, Caucasian man will sing in Caucasian like a traditional person. The Germans, the Asians, the Arabians, they all have their musical instruments. Where are Africans? They mock you till you abandon them. But if you truly embrace them, if you truly understand the power they will, you will not abandon them. You will not abandon them. And so tonight, I want you to ask yourself a question. Why did they take time to manufacture this music? Why did they take time to manufacture music? They told you your music is evil, your music is very archaic, your music is demonic, and you abandon them. But they go back and then they steal the same music they told you is evil. Let me play one of the ancestral evil music for you. That was not the track I wanted to play. I wanted to play the original audio track, only the vocal, because the European, the colonial masters, they added music. But that was a Zulu song. One of the songs which Zulu, Shaka the Zulu of South Africa, when he burned the power of the terrorists, they were war song he was chanting. Until they came. Go and ask whether it's Maria Makiba or Makiba, whatever. Go and ask those people who understand this ancient word song. When they chant this song, men and women will be willing to die 100 times over. But to make sure you don't have your way. Today, where are those songs? The children of Israel, according to the Bible, when they were in the enemy's camp, they say, how can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Why were the invaders asking the children of Israel to sing the long song? Have you ever wondered? By the rivers of Babylon, where we lay down, and there we will, when we remember Zion. Babylon, so carry us away, captivity require the song from us. How can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Do you know the slaves they kidnapped from Africa? They made all of them in the evening to begin to sing for them. What was in that song? What were they trying? Do you know there are songs you sing, things will begin to happen? Each time I see people drinking Ompa, Hero beer, and singing in Zobu, Henyi. I could only see a generation that can never match to war at the sound of that song because they don't even know what it is. They thought it's for entertainment. Brother, there are a lot of things you are losing. There are a lot of spiritual influence attached to those things. Oyibo are gradually learning it. Oyibo are learning it gradually. And he said it's outdated. Leave outdated, let it become inside the outdated. And follow the civilized. Let's go. Every culture and tradition has upgraded. Why can't we upgrade our own and leave the old version? Do you know most of the most expensive car on earth are not the one they are just producing, but the one they have produced in ages past? But how will you know? A day will come we will wish we never threw these things away. But it's not too late. It is going to help us one day. Let us go back to our root. We are equipping you. And some people think we are going to, let's do like this, so let's do like this. No. Whatever you have to learn, this is the time you have to learn it. I just taking time, go through the Bible memory lane, trying to go and find out why is it that God begin to take record of music? Why? Music is part of our identity. It is our cultural heritage. It is our identity. It is priceless. Do you know in Biafra land, many communities don't have musicians again? And if you come from such community, go back home and start all over again. I'm not telling you English song. I'm telling you your traditional language, your traditional music. Many tradition and culture in Biafra land have lost their music. No more musician. But go and learn from Yoruba. Why they are singing Omo Baba Mi Olowo, Omo Baba Mi Olowo, they can be changing from, they are upgrading anyway. From Ebenezer, they upgraded to Shino Peter. From Shino Peter, they are upgrading to Dimpaj and Davido and the rest of them. Where are we graduating? When Igbo Biafra sing a song, he begin to think, Yorubas are saying Eshe, Hausas are saying Gwangwadu, Igbos are saying Imela. Have you heard the Yoruba singer Igbos are saying Imela? But to you, it doesn't matter. Somebody say, no, let's not be tribalistic. Let's not be sentimental. You cannot save another when you have not saved yourself. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. You cure yourself before you can cure another. He said, remove the mote in your eye before you go and remove another person's own. You never remove the problem where you want to cure another person. That is why when we sit, we look at all of you until you embrace this most common and tiniest truth. As a people of Biafra, you are in for a deep shit. But I beg of you, do not neglect them. Do not think that these cultures, traditions are evil as they made you to believe, because the people who told you is evil, they want to claim it to themselves by all means. The moment they see you have forgotten about it, they will invent it, and your children will go and pay money to listen to them. As I'm playing some of this music on Radio Biafra, it looks rubbish to you, but when they begin to play it for you in Buckingham Palace, you will go there and you become honorable to listen to music made by your ancestors. You will pay money for that, and your ancestors look at all of you and they shake their head in pain and in sorrow. Biafrans, we are going home. And to go home, we must pass through the nook and cranny, the length and breadth of Biafra land. Without that, we are not going anywhere. I want you to look at the Yoruba, look at the Hausa, Fulani. They don't joke with any of these things. Conclusively, if the Bible in the 4th chapter will move ahead to keep record of these things, to the extent that even the psalm is dedicated to rituals of song, do you think there is nothing for us to benefit from our spiritual and physical when it comes to this music? If you understand the mindset of our ancestors behind them, you will go and learn. You will go and learn. But believe me, like I always say, sometimes the knowledge may be too much for you to understand. But don't make any mistake about it. We are a people. Somebody gave birth to us. The person who gave birth to us is the owner of the land we are fighting to protect. He is not from Yoruba, he's not Hausa, he's not Fulani. Hausa, Fulani and Yoruba, their ancestors are very happy with them. But can we say the same thing about ourselves? Because everything their ancestors gave to them, they kept it. They protect it. They don't toy with it. Can we say we are doing the same? Are we sure we are ready? Are we sure we are ready? Don't let anybody deceive you. If it's evil, let it be our evil, not their evil. In some of this study, as we move to the next stage of back to your root, I will teach you. I will open your eye to see the spiritual implication behind all those things. I saw our brothers who protested for the unconditional release of our people, IPOB member locked up in different dungeons across the zoo. And I saw they did something. And I was very happy. They were marching with palm front, with Biafra flag. Of course, the enemy will not recover from it. But if you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. Imagine when we will begin to sing the Lord's song in our own land. Understand, we are not in a strange land though. Biafrans are in their father's land. That is why sometimes I sing some people don't understand. Iyo, anama jogodo, anumiri hunne yezuri. Iyo, anama jogodo, anumiri hunne yezuri. In those ancient days of our kingdom, when men and women chant that song, you are in for a big trouble. How many Abo people understand it now? Biafras are going home anyway. But to go home, you must make your ancestors understand that you are sorry. Tell them you are sorry for your negligence, for everything they bled for, everything they lived for. Tell them you will not make that mistake again. And all of them will rise up to defend us. But of course, your brain have been intertwined, mismanaged. You won't understand it. But we keep telling you. We keep saying it until you understand. Biafra is here to stay. And Biafras are going home.
Biafra's going to Fossil Zone 1 in Aba, Abia Province, in the leadership of Mazi and we are in this platform for the restoration of Biafra because we are proud of the land of rising sun. Biafrans are blessed with natural resources, we are blessed with human resources, we are blessed with great technology and so on and so forth. We never call for war, we never call for hatred, we never call for discrimination, but we call for peace, unity, love, freedom, which is our main goal. Biafra is an Asian nation which was earlier colonized by the British in the earlier 18th century. And Biafra nation has been foretold in the prophecies like Nostradamus hundreds back that a powerful prince will arise in the world as the trigger of the gun, that he will be the envy of other princes, and the other prince will try to subdue his arise, but all will be a failure to them. Biafra is an Asian nation that lies along the Atlantic Ocean of Africa with great potential of greatness. Biafra is a nation that will restore peace, liberation, future hope towards our generation. Our predecessors have fought their own, and we present Biafras are not going to relent or surrender to this struggle. We are determined to restore our holy land, which is Biafra, with one voice, one accord, one command, and one agenda, which is Biafra. We all thank Almighty Chukwu Okike Abiyama for His grace, protection, love, care, because we are all alive in the land of the living. God have organized a seeking peace province in Biafra land. Biafra, you are great indeed, the kingdom of God here on earth. We also thank our leader Mazi and the great prince and an icon, the liberator of this global struggle of our time, and his deputy Mazi and all the principal of state, coordinators, Ipob family members all around the world, lovers of freedom. This song is from AC Joe and Mary from Fossil Zone 1 in Aba, Abia Province. Thank you all, and may Chukwu Okike Abiyama bless you all in Yahweh's name. Say,
Yes, of course, at this moment our lines are open. Our WhatsApp line is 070-815-45642. 070-815-45642. Our special number for the female is 081-288-58614. Special number for the female is 081-288-58614, and our direct line is 081-221-52971. Our direct line once again is 081-221-52971. There is more to that, my brothers and my sisters. Do not just look at them and move away. If you don't value all these things, I call them little thing, you can never value the land of Biafra. And believe me, that war they are bringing down to us, we don't need a gun, we don't need a bullet. Men and women are waiting to give them the miracle of their lifetime. When we say Biafra is the last miracle, people don't understand. People don't understand. That is why Fulani under Nigerian covering with Tawosan Yoruba are bringing gun to round us up, using juju to turn our head. But that war will not be fought with AK-47. The world will see a miracle they are yet to know anything about. Like I said, our lines are open. Caller on the line, your name and where you calling from. Caller on the line. Caller on WhatsApp.
People don't understand.
Caller on WhatsApp.
Hello?
Yes, I would advise you to turn down the volume of your radio set.
Okay. Hello.
Your name and where are you calling
Good evening.
from? Good
Hello,
evening.
Biafran. My name is Pastor Nzesplendor Ikechukwu. I'm calling from Aba, Biafra land.
Go ahead.
Mazi, I'm so
The world is
happy.
listening.
I'm so happy and grateful to God for making provision for you, for our great leader, Mazi Nnamdi, and every other principal officers and every lovers of the freedom. We are so grateful to God. Just like our leader said yesterday, about the letter that the bishop sent to the president of America, Trump, where he said that there are two groups, children of light and children of darkness. We are so sure that light must prevail. I can't forget in a hurry that our supreme leader precisely reminded us, and the word of God is also very clear on that there is no darkness at all, that darkness does not exist. It doesn't exist. All that we need to disintegrate darkness is to on the light, and the light has come to stay. Thank you so much for the so much thing you are doing for us. We cannot thank you enough. It's only posterity that will keep blessing us.
It is
for
our
every
duty.
lover of, yes, our children will forever be grateful for our time, because we know history. We can remember Nnamdi Azikiwe, knowing that he was so gullible. It's so painful. It's so painful. The pain is so much in our heart. We cannot wash it off. We cannot wish it away. Thank God for making provisions for a time like this, that we have our supreme leader, and having all of us being behind him is a great sacrifice and a great appointment with destiny. Thank you so much, sir. This is my first time. I've been trying to get you. I've not been able to get you. I'm so delightful for reaching us and reaching all Biafras and lovers of the freedom everywhere in the world. God is on our side, and the light is on. Darkness cannot prevail. Thank you so much, sir, for being there for all of us.
God is faithful.
And for our children.
God is faithful.
Sir.
Thank you very much. The truth cannot be overemphasized. We were first a people before anything. First of all, we are human beings. Who made us? If they were chimpanzee, I want to feel what it means to be a chimpanzee. If they were monkey and gorilla, I want to feel what it means to be that. Because if you are anything better than them, I doubt that. If you cannot embrace your past and leave it where it belongs to, you cannot come and tell me you have a future that you will not abandon very soon. When you call me, please give me names of instruments you know your people use. Tell me about songs your ancestors sang. Tell me about mysterious song. Tell me about juju song your ancestors sang. It's our ancestors. They are the owner of this land. Very soon now, Igbo and Yoruba pastor will tell you, oh, land of Biafra is juju land. After all, they have started telling you it's landlocked. Tell your story. Let the world hear about it. Or else, others will tell your story for you. We cannot shy away from the truth. If my mother is a thief, I cannot change it. She remains my mother, and I will love her as a thief. I could only change her circumstance. How can you learn from the truth you are running away from? Caller on the line, your name and where are you calling from? Caller on the line. Caller on the line.
Hello.
This is female line, please.
Okay.
Sorry for that. When you call, move away from your radio set and tell me something about your Biafra. Caller on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp.
Hello.
Good evening from here. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Go ahead.
Good evening, all Biafrans. Good evening, all Biafrans, the lovers of freedom. Wherever you are, my name is still your humble servant, Mazi Joseph Onyeibe. And Mazi Joseph Onyeibe is calling from Obolafo. Obolafo is the local government. And so, then we say Biafra land. I would like to appreciate Chukwu Kabema as how you have made every one of us to see today. But all my regards should go to my leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Ofoyene Ishiro Oroso Rariche. Wamburubebo Hamadike one of Biafra land. Make it clear, keep on stretching him. Any person that bless him, may God bless him, a person and his generation. Same thing goes to our deputy leader, Mazi Chukwu. A man who have come and proved to the world that he can trust a Biafran, because before they say that he cannot trust a Biafran, but he have stand and said that we never allow this platform to see corruption. Since the first day till now, he still stand on his word to show the world is not how they tag us, is how we are. The same thing still go to you, the land of Biafra, Mazi Onyeibe. You are really trying because that's how we are bringing our people back to our roots. Because this topic that we since we started it, I can assure you that the life of Biafrans they have changed from the level that we are to another extent. Because our people are now knowing what they have not even known. Because before, if you see the life of our people, 35 years, painful age. But now, if our people we should go back to our roots, for us to know what we're supposed to know, believe me, we will see at old age in again. Because all thing that is causing all this type of thing, because we have lived our way, we have lived what we're supposed to do another thing, without even remembering that is even in the scripture. Jeremiah 6:16 said that my people, please go back to your old way. That is where life is, so that we can even find. Chukwadema is the one that is telling me and you that we should go back to our old way, and that our old way is that thing that our forefathers did, and that made them to even have a rest of mind. Now see what is happening. But I thank God that my leader Mazi can have destroyed the zoo. I remember when he said that he's not going to even use one bullet, but the zoo, and that thing have happened now. Even the cockroaches in the zoo are crying. So my people, I'm just encouraging you wherever you are. Please rush now. The only home you have is IPOB. The only savior you have is IPOB. The only umbrella you have is IPOB. This is only thing that can make you, for you to even, you can have a good food. You can even have a good road, a good hospital. Anything that you can think of. What can give it to you without promise and fail is IPOB. You have seen that he was ordained by Chukwu Kabiama, because everything that my leader Mazi can say, all of them come true. Which prophet? The prophet that I say that you should buy a holy water, ordinary water. I want to ask you today, where have you ever seen in the scripture that God Almighty collect 1 naira from you to even do anything for you? And you people are even ashamed of yourself. If you say that this man of God, it's not that man of God is hired, but it's the faith that you used to visit him that set you free, not the man of God. Because if the reason I'm saying it, those people that even take money are not even eating, and they cannot even be ashamed of yourself. And our leader Mazi and the can is doing everything that he's doing, so that all this type of nonsense will stop, so that he can even. All this money that you are just giving to the so-called Yoruba people, we can even use that money to even develop ourselves. Believe me today, but have even done everything that they could have done. So Mazi Onyeibe, I say may God come and keep on strengthening you, and I would like I still be a humble servant, Mazi Onyeibe, I remain blessed. Good night from here.
Here is the magnificent African artist, Miriam Makeba. Miriam?
That is Miriam Makeba, magnificent African song. Go to Ethiopia, go to South Africa of the ancient Zulu, not today, oh no. Go and ask them what they use song to do. Go and ask them how much the voice of the roaring of the warrior tormented the enemy. People will not understand. These are the days of Elijah. We are here sending down the fire of Chukwu Kabiama. These are the days of John the Baptist. We are here preaching the gospel. These are the days of David. We must worship Chukwu Kabiama. What is the spiritual coding that you fail to understand? Caller on the line, are you there? Caller on the line. But of course, that could be Zoo Epileptic Network, but we continue. Caller on the line, are you there? Good evening, Monitoring Spirit, hold on. Sister on the line, go ahead. Monitoring Spirit, you are on. Monitoring Spirit, are you still there? And I think I lost both of them. Caller on WhatsApp, are you there? Caller on WhatsApp. Yes, he's not ready to speak. Caller on the line, your name and where you calling from. Caller on the line.
Yes, Mazi Onyeibe, can you hear me?
Go ahead. Good evening from here.
Good evening, Mazi. My name is Chimezrim Emenike Oduku. I'm calling from Aba.
Go ahead.
I'm calling from Aba, Mazi. I'm really grateful for everything you have been teaching us since the time you have been doing back to your roots program. I really enjoy everything, and I'm learning a lot of things. I really appreciate it, and I keep saying, may Tukotika be my heaven, keep blessing you, I keep giving you the strength to teach us Biafra, to know ourselves, because any man on this earth that loses his truth, that man is gone as a race. So I thank you for everything you have been doing for us. God bless you. May Tukotika bless you.
Thank you very much. We are not going anywhere. These are little things, but they have a major role to play in our life. And very soon, caller on the line. Caller on the line. Caller on the line.
Hello.
Yes, good evening from here. Good evening from here.
Hello. Anya, Mama Onyeibe.
Mbidoma. Go ahead, please.
My name is Uju Mwabai Hamburusi. I'm Onye Owura Akokwa, North in Imo State. I'm not going to my back, but Mazi Onyeibe, I'm making a cuckoo. Ordinary, in a Biafra. Let's take our leader, Mazi Namodekalo. When you see now, anything on the car now, what you're getting care with so. When you make a cuckoo, let's take ordinary. It's what a topic come and keep you richer. About to go back our route. As only this is our route tonight. I go back. In your one are 50. Manipulate Chineke, go to Gomazan and the Carlo. Can you let you get because I will just the Rain Docha Copri and Mezia. That's why I just told our youth are dying. Our youth are dying because of a lot of things. I rapport. We're saying about this instrument, music and instrument. To tell you the truth, when I was growing my village like this, there is a very that is the tangible music that I saw that time, but not all those things are finished. So I thank God upon you because of what they are doing. So now I see because you see because all those important things. Because I been a village, and we're going to Punchima. And a G, Nukwe, so every woman in on that you're going on a woman on a girl, but Nabia, but even Danile, Agatana, you handle get our band, even the Ghana for what come on, you go. They will put in Ghana when you can buy on a broker, they would go in Ariagoa. All these things of music have their sound, and it's beat like this. You can see, you can hear a very tangible sound music you can play. So, I like the because you see, Chico Cabia was Wagumbe, Magoziko, our Nande Carlo, which is can I hear on a Chico Cabia on the I need. You
see, the truth cannot be overemphasized. They may not mean anything to you, but soon you will understand. Are you there? Caller on the line. Caller on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp. You keep calling, and I think you are finding it difficult to speak. Why don't you turn down the volume of your radio set and focus on your phone?
Hello, Judge. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am Chukudi. And I'm from Aba, Abia State, Biafra land. Mazi Onyeibe, well, information on challenge, and I have been trying this license, and the line is not correct.
Go ahead. Hello? Caller on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp, are you there? But of course, Zoo Epileptic Network. Caller on the line. Caller on the line. Caller on the line. Caller on WhatsApp.
Hello, good evening, Mazi Onyeibe.
Good evening from
Listen to come from Aba province calling.
Go ahead, please.
Wow, I'm very glad to get Radio Biafra. My spirit just told me I was going to get It's been so grateful following you guys, understanding myself. It's now that I've gone back to reading history to understand what really happened. And everything our Mazi was saying was the truth, facts. I found out facts and figures, which is truth. About the topic this night, there were a lot of songs and I agree by. We are from Item, Amoko to be precise. Our people have a lot of Omenala, and every Omenala have to go with Iri. And we have Ogele, we have different type of things like a very big, long Uduana, everybody will be gathered. The celebration will be very, very wow. I'm just glad to get Radio Biafra this night. Mazi, Yishenike.
Thank you very much. In those days, when they beat a particular drum, the whole village will gather in less than 30 seconds. Today, without AK-47, in fact, you knock AK-47, everybody run away. What is this our rallying point today in Biafra land? You don't love you love the land of your ancestors, but you don't love their culture and tradition. Are you still there, caller on WhatsApp?
Is it me, Mazi Onyeibe?
Yes, you. Good evening from here.
Hello, Mazi Onyeibe. Good evening.
Go
Long
ahead,
time.
please. Happy New Year.
Onyeibe, ndewo onwa Chineke. I like in this topic in akuzi. Amara m na n'umo okpoka abaka ntola aka right from 6 months when I was 6 months, right? Na the village ebe onweba na ebe enwelu nnukwu ikoru, right? And alụrụ ụlọ dobe ebe ahụ. I could remember mgbe mpempe this ikoru onwe ka esi akụ ya, onwe different beating, onwe different onwe different noise ọ na-eme, and onwe special people na-akụ ihe a, onwe beating aya aga ihe, onwere ebe any part of the ọka niile ya anụ the beating. Akụ anya ịga n'ihu ukwu melu maọbụ na nsogbu dị n'obodo. All this is a kind of communication, different types of communication ndị gboo ji wee bili. I could remember for the last time nnala ụlọ aka m furu that ikoru ọka dị n'ebe n'ume okpu ọka ifuru ya wụrụ ya ụlọ. So akụ anya ọ na-enye information n'ihu ukwu melu ọ na n'idili nzukọ ozugbo it gathers everybody, ma nwoke ma nwanyị, it gathers everybody. Then enwelu nke bụ a kind of nke a bụ for obere information, maybe ndị town crier enwe ike ọ bụ na enwelu information against tomorrow, he bido in the evening guard the whole village okirikiri na-akụ okwe. Even self na onwe mkpọtụ ị na-eme mama nụkwara kpọkpọm mama sị mụ mechie ọnụ mụ dajụ ebe niile adajụ because we are listening to the announcement onye ahụ na-emeke na ya adị ebe dị ona ma ọ na-eje sụọ ọfịa na mmiri kuche ya mee ka mmiri dị ọcha and stuff. So many things, mana these days ụmụ ihe ndị a adịrọzi nna. I love this year topic. We must go back to our root. We must go back to our root. Thank you very much. And God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
The moment we lost a sense of community, that is how we got here. Yes, this is one of the juju music our ancestors sang in the early 70s. Juju music of our ancestors. They didn't use any instrument, but they sang perfectly well. Talking about instrument, how did they manage to take away our instrument, mobilized it, refurbish it, and it's down. Even in Catholic Church tomorrow, they knock bell. They took everything away from us. There is no way you can restore anything that belongs to Biafra except you go back to your root first. You can't come speaking English for me and you want to tell me you are a man. I stand aside and monitor you very well. I may observe you for the rest of your life. But the moment you enter the land of our boy, that is how it is to all of us. If we cannot recover our identity, which eventually is our heritage, our culture, believe me, we will get home. We will get home. There is no two ways about it. Call on WhatsApp. Are you there?
Hello, good evening, man.
Good evening from here. Tell me about ancestral music and instruments. Go ahead, please.
Honestly, I don't know where you brought out this music. This music really touched me, my brother. You're doing a great job.
There are many of them, my brother. This is juju music now. It's juju music.
Don't mind them. This music, yes, I just so it really touched my heart. I remember a lot of things, when somebody was in the zoo, This year topic, we must go back to our roots. This keep on hammering on this topic because this we left our youth, our root, and that's one of the problems we are having. Anything, even your color, you know that some of all these Yoruba churches, they even see color as a bad thing, as an evil thing. That's the level they have turned our people to. The Yoruba churches now they are turning our people now, our men to women, then our women to men. Yes, you could remember that time in the village, normal tradition marriage. It was done. It was in the night that those traditional marriage. It was in the night that we performed this traditional marriage in those days. But because of all these Yoruba churches now, they have changed everything. And that is why you see our marriages nowadays. No one lasts. We left our tradition and start doing white man tradition. In the night, that was when we used to do our tradition, marriage tradition, But they have all these churches that have changed it. We left our roots and start doing we don't even know whether it is Yoruba culture we are doing or white man culture. This that and things are going bad. We should go back to our root. A lot of things has gone wrong. A lot of things have gone wrong. We need to go back to our root, my brother. All this untimely death, marriage are crashing everything. When would marriages crash? When we left our way of marriage and we are now doing a white wedding. What is white wedding? You are doing white man way of marriage, and you left you abandon your own our Igbo way of marriage. Now look at some marriages 5-6 months, 1 year. Wife killing husband. All these things we are not happening when we are practicing our culture. So I love this year topic. We have to go back to our roots to get this right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was my contribution.
Yes, our fathers were not evil until somebody told you they were evil. And everything they condemned about our ancestors is being modernized and used against us. For how long are we going to remain simple? Oh, ye simple. Yes, that is another Biafran juju music. Juju, it is evil. Don't play it. Oh. These are our ancestors for your information. Are you still there, caller on WhatsApp?
Yes, Mazi Onyeibe, good evening.
Good evening, ma, from here. Go ahead, please.
Avambo Ogonaya Chima. Abumonya Ruchukwu. But I'm not from Birmingham. Mazi Onyeibe, ana m ekele gị nke ọma na nkuzi niile na-akụzi obi dị m ụtọ maka na ụmụ anyị amakwa ihe a na-eme na ụmụ anyị nwee ike ịpụta kọwaa onye ha wụ, kọwaa nna ha, kọwaa nne ha, kwuo ava ha n'okwu ala Igbo. Ọ dị mwute so much. Instrument ị na-ekwu na mkpọ ụmụ m jụọ ha sị kedu ihe ndị eji akụ egwu. Onwe onye ma ogele, onwe onye ma udu, onwe onye ma ọyọ. But nna m mụrụ m Mazi Chima Kanu, ọ sị m na ihe mere ndị Arụchukwu anaghị aza onye ọbụla saa na mma meaning of saa. Masị ya no sa. Ọ sị m meaning of saa wụ slave I remain. Na ndị Arụ anaghị aza onye ọbụla saa, ihe anyị na-aza maazị lee m n'ala. But n'ụbọchị taa ụmụ anyị amakwaghị anything. Omenala Arụchukwu na Akwa Ibom wụ the same thing. This ọkọnkọ ị na-ekwu, o nwere egwu ndị ha na-agụ, ha sị na abomination, onwe onye ga-agụ ya na chọọchị, onwe onye ga-agụ ya na, but today agụwala ya na chọọchị. Like ekondo nke mufiyo anama mkpaniko, ekondo nke mufiyo mfọnfọ kawawa. Now ịga na churches ha na-agụzi, but ha si anyị agụla ya. Ha si anyị agala meeting, village meetings. Mana Bible sị anyị ahapụkwala nzukọ nke ụmụnna. But ha na-atara iwepụ ndị Igbo ihu na ihe niile wụ omenala. Beta pụta a na-agụ Yoruba song, a na-agụ even egwu ndị Yoruba ji eti egwugwu ha, their egwugwu dance a na-agụta ya na church. Beta ekwe ka ndị Igbo gụọ nke anyị. Maazị Onyeibe, obi dị m ụtọ so much because ka ị na-akụzie ka m na-akụziri ndị mụ na ha nọ ebe a. Ị na-akụzi ka m na-akpọ onye ọbụla, ha niile nọ ebe a, si ha bịa ka gewenụ ntị na anyị emisiela so much. Egwuregwu nwaanyị mụọ nwa, agụọ ụma nwa mara na amụrụ nwa. But now abịazie na ụma nwa egwu chọọchị ka a na-agụ. Mmadụ anwụọ agụ egwu ọnwụ. Data ọja ị na-ekwu okwu ya, a na-egbu ọja, a na-eji ọja ekwu okwu. Ndị bịara abịa na-awụghị ndị Biafra agaghị anụ ihe a na-ekwu. Eji ọja ekwu okwu. Ịnọrọ miles away n'ọja, ị ga-ama ma enwere danger, ị ga-ama ma peace ọ dị. But ihe ndị a niile adịkwa. Ị bịa na Arụchukwu, o nwere agazi ekwu okwu. Strangers will be there, but they won't know what we are saying. Papa gị pụta ọsị gị were keke mee dion, ị marala ihe o kwuru, but the stranger will not know. Even ije, there are steps you will move. We all know what it meant. But today, all these things are no more. So I appreciate you people so much. And anyị niile na-agbalị ka ọ wụrụ sọsọ n'ụlọ akwụkwọ ka ụmụntakịrị ga na-asụ English, but n'ụlọ ka agbalịa na-akụziri ha okwu ala anyị, emume ala anyị. Maazị Onyeibe, ka Chukwu Okike Ọbịama gọzie gị. Onye ihe ọma dị mma, ihe ọma ga-erute ya, mana onye si na ihe ọma adịghị ya mma, ọ ga-eji ala zere mmiri. Maazị Onyeibe na onye isi anyị bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, Maazị Mefọ, a sị m onye isi unu na-adara aja ya were nke ya chụọ ya. Ụtụtụ ga-atụ ya n'ọnụ, ukori ga-ekoba ya isi n'ọhịa, abalị ga-aba ya isi n'ala. Aha Chukwu Okike Ọbịama. Ise.
Yes, these people have become our ancestors, and somewhere along the line, I think they are juju. They are juju. Go back to your root, Biafrans. Call on the line, your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Mazi Onyeibe. Good evening, sir.
Good evening from here. Go ahead, tell us musical instrument.
Ana m akpọ from Aba. Ndị Igbo anyị, ụfọdụ anyị na-eme ka anyị amaghị, ụfọdụ anyị amaghị ihe in short. because the other day kam nọ na abara otu n'ime ndị Igbo ụfọdụ ndị Igbo ebe anyị nọ na onye Igbo ga-abịa ya ewere ya onye Yoruba eburu mgbọrọgwụ bịa ya eme appreciate mgbọrọgwụ na-aṅụ mgbọrọgwụ bete onye Igbo anyị bụ mgbọrọgwụ bịa ebe anyị nọ na-ezu ike ha mee mgbọrọgwụ ahụ gị na ọma akpọ ha masa lisin ihe anyị ha na-ekwu gbasara Biafra onye ọbụla back to our roots ya mgbọrọgwụ ọgwụ apụtara n'obodo anyị nna anyị ha ji na-agwọ ọrịa deru na ahapụla ya betule mgbọrọgwụ onye Igbo onye Yoruba awa wetara na amkpọ ndị nke azụ yesterday anyị gbara na mgbọrọgwụ ọnwụọ bete nke anyị mgbe anyị nwechara mgbọrọgwụ ahụ onye ọbụla kọnfam na ihe ọgwụ a ndị mma ọgwụ a ndị mma weta mgbọrọgwụ nna anyị ha ji na-agwọ ọrịa anyị menye dekwa na egwuregwu Igbo anyị mgbe anyị nwa dị ntakịrị onwe ihe anyị na-akpọ egwu ọnwa otu ọnwa pụta otu a anyị ụmụazị anyị apụtacha na aja nọ na kọmpand na iro na-egwu egwuregwu na-agụ ọtụtụ egwu dị iche iche bete ụmụaka ugbo nkwa onye mụrụ ihe ha ọzi akụọ wiski akụọ nka bete nkwa onye ma egwu ọnwa ndị a uto gị na ọ dịka onye na-akụziri ha ụmụ ihe ndị a alachala ihe ndị a wụ ihe nna anyị ha dobere anyị laa bete anyị ahapụ ya soro omenala ndị ọzọ wuru ihe jọgburu onwe ya mere nna anyị ha ji na-ewe iwe otu anụmanụ ugbu a emere m ya si ụmụ anọ m mụrụ 4 of them onwegwe onye ha m mụrụ na township ebe m nke ọbụla a na-aga ịmụ na back to my village so that ha mara mfe ha ga-eri na kọmpand nna m ha mara ebe ha si nkwanụ afọ na-agwụ ka m hapụ ile obodo nna m ha mara omenala anyị mara ihe anyị na-eme bete ọtụtụ ndị Igbo anyị ahapụla omenala anyị mewu ihe m na-amaghị ihe ọwụ ihe ndị ọzọ ihe ndị mba ọzọ dị anyị mma karịa ihe anyị onwe anyị mere bịara dị ka m gara ịzụ akara onye nke aha ya bụ aha ya eleghị ka m cheta aha ya ọsọ aha ya bụ nwụlarị mmanya na-akpọ ya nwụlarị ma akpọ ya nwụlarị ya ewu iwe masị eri ihe na-eweghị iwe aha nna nna gị ha na-asa den ịhapụla nwụlarị adịkwa gị ụtọ nwụlarị a na-akpọ gị adịghị gị ụtọ ihe awụ ihe anyị hapụtara aha anyị ha anyị echefucha ya anyị echefu aha anyị ụfọdụ pụta na township ha na-ezo dị a wee ibe ha si na-ezo ya ezo ihe anyị ihe zọgburu onwe ha ụmụ Igbo nupụta n'igwe ka anyị mara na ihe anyị ga-eme ka anyị laa nna anyị ha nna anyị ha nọ n'ala ka ha nyere anyị aka ka anyị laa na iwe na-ewe ha na anyị hapụrụ ihe anyị kwesịrị ime na-eme ihe mba ọzọ pụta nụ m na-eme ya ndị mmadụ dịka Kristi onye ọbụla ga-abanye na one family and family ọbụla adịghị nso onwere na onwe family na-ama ọrụ ibi maghị family ga-abanye bịa ka m gosi gị family m na-emere ya dịka Kristi ka anyị nwere ike laa site n'aka ohu pụọ anyị pụọ n'ohu nkọsa anyị gbuo ohu nye ndị mba ọzọ ndị mba anyị kwesịrị bịa na-asa anyị nwa na-asa ha asa ha ewere anyị mere ohu dị ọda dị ka m gara kwafuru my neighbor ngwongwo n'ebe obi onye Awụsa na-agwa m onye Awụsa ejide ki flat ya ebe ọ kwụrụ ụgwọ sị na asị m enyekwala ya ki abiku ya sị na ya nwee free liberty na Nigeria kpọwara na ya dị nwee free liberty ime otu ọbụla sịrị ama na-ele nwa mba nsị getman ordinary getman na-agwa onye kwụrụ ụgwọ flat ihe ọ ga-eme so Mazi Onyeibe obi dị m ụtọ na m nwetara gị this evening jisie n'ike anyị ga-enwetarịrị mmeri ihe anyị na-achọ ga-eruru anyị aka onye iro agaghị ejide anyị anyị ga-agarịrị ebe ahụ onye Jehova kwere anyị nkwa Chukwu Obiọma kwere anyị nkwa na anyị ga-aga Biafra ga-asọpsidịrịrị mụ na onwe m n'ebe awụ aha mbụ kalụkpa afọ ahụrụ m that I will bring out my last weight ọ kara mma na m erighị ihe bet ka ọrụ na m nwetara Biafra for the sake of my children ka ha nwere onwe ha ka Chukwu Obiọma gọzie gị Maazị Onyeibe. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, those were our ancestral music. You can hear Egogo. Egogo is part of them. Udu is going on there. Oja is talking. many instruments combined together. They are all judically made, though, but they belong to our ancestors. We must appreciate them. We must love them. We must go back to our roots. Are you there? Still there? Caller on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp.
Yes, Mazi Onyeibe.
Good evening from here. Go ahead, please.
Good evening. I pray that the good God will give you sound health from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet each day. The Lord will renew your youth, and as well, our leader, the Lord will renew his youth, and nothing more and more. Mazi Chokafo, our deputy, the Lord will renew his youth and then add more years to his years, as well as our sister and all that are standing for the restoration of Biafra. My name is Udochi Ikbama Okumebula. I'm a native of Ikwanum here on Biafra land. And today we are talking about our music. In short, our culture, original. You can remember, I don't know if you will remember, there's a particular church music that was played in 1978, 79, 80. The first tradition that that put a record that used our local instruments. Let me sing that song. Opike gada n'ụbọchị ahụ anyị ga-ahụ onye nwe anyị n'ocheze ya. See, you see, church play major role that buried that particular culture that is so unique, divine as a race, Igbos. Now, what about the mood of our dressing? What of our identity? In those days, if I come out as I tell you now, I stand before you, you will simply know this is an Igbo man. We have mark. In those days, if Igbo man dress, you will know that it's Igbo man. Let me tell you one thing. Before the white man came, our cap was used is a nkapakeja cap that is from the palm tree. That's what they use to do that cap. It's round. It's like it's round. This one we call Usoko Urobo. It's not. It's just Igbo general. We all are the same. So then, when we begin now to have some textile. There is people we call Akwete. These people are specialized in making fabric. They are bringing the materials of design for we native. They are the people that give us the cloth, our men and women. That's why Igbo man dress. This way that you see Usoko Urobo. It's Igbo that lost Igbo speaking.
I wish you will come back to our line this evening, which is our traditional music and culture.
Yes, that's what everything put together. So the music, each of the part of Igbo land have their tune, and the music. When I was small, I don't want to talk about this much. When I was small, whenever this war dance on Rapture, when we are small, when we are little, anytime they just start to, every one of us begin to shout, you know, because it ginger our spirit. It is cultural. It is something we are born with. So these are the things. We have our dressing. Now we are wearing the Yoruba own, Hausa own, our own. If not this Biafra, we are sorry. It's almost gone. If you wear suit, you see in danger. If you wear Igbo own, you are a native witch doctor. So it's good. This our nation will be restored. So we are done what the Lord has given us as a people, as a culture. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. The truth cannot be overemphasized. They are packed with a lot of spiritual blessings. We will look into that aspect as time goes on. Yes, caller on WhatsApp, are you there? Caller on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp. APK Gum.
Hello?
Good evening from here. Your name and where are you calling from? Good evening from here. Good evening from here.
Good evening, Mazi Onyeibe.
Good evening, ma.
Asị m ha Chineke gozie Nnamdi Kalu Ọhamadike onye ya anaghị akwụ ogwe nke Biafra land. Ali Ọhafịa, anọ m Ali Ọhafịa ugbu a, onye Ọhafịa. Ali Ọhafịa, nwa agbọghọ toezu ya je mee arụ ga-achọ ụmụ nwoke mgbe ọ ka alụgo di. Ụmụ nwaanyị ndị etu ya awasara eweghakwu nkwa akụ ikperike awasara gaa ure nne nwa agbọghọ ahụ erie ya iwu ndị mmadụ amarasị ụmụ ife dị nnọọ ya wụrụ iwu nwoke gị ime ife ha ali asọ nsọ ime ife ali asọ nsọ so ụmụ nwoke agha ekwuwa ndị akpana ha awasara gị nne gị nna gị awara nkwa ọhụrụ gaa ụmụ nwe akwụ ụgwọ ọ bụ omenala nke Ọhafịa ga-emekwa lụọ ife ekwu abomination okwu ife arụ ali Ọhafịa ọ bụ ife ndị anyị eme ụmụ nwaanyị ọhụ ndị etole eto oke mmadụ wapụsa waga toilet isi ime ife arụ waga toilet buru nshi public toilet na-ebu nshi toilet ga awuju unu ma dustbin aga buru dustbin ebe dustbin dị. So ife ndị ọdụmme all these things make our people to be fearing God. O nwekwa ihe ọzọ anyị na-eme eme egwu ọnwa ọ dịka ụrụ nwa agbọghọ etojuru ọya ala dị ihe anyị na-eme bụ dịka Senford anyị ekwu ya ezizi nwa agbọghọ izizi nwa agbọghọ ahụ ụmụ agbọghọ ndị ọdụ ya eje na-akụrụ ya bụrụ abụ na-agụ abụ agagharị ndị mmadụ a na-enewo ego amarasị nwa agbọghọ dị nnọọ ọ gajele ịla ebe di ya anyị ekwu ya nzizi igbu elu ọ dị ọtụtụ ife dị iche iche mgbe mbụ nwa agbọghọ nọgụ na-adụ mgbe nwa agbọghọ toezu ihe agba ọtọ jere enwe ife anyị na-eje so ife a na-akwanyere ụmụ agbọghọ ugwu mgbe ọhụ ejere ejigide ife anyị ekwu ya asị ejere ejigide ọhụ wa na-eto wana ga-ama nwoke tiri oru mgbe wa abanye ụlọ ediwa ebe ọwụ omenala ndị Ọhafịa ji na-emeda ịga ụlọ gị ị naghị agbachi ụlọ inweghị ụdọ nweghị ife ụdọ maọbụ ibo ọnwa from 1970s ebe a na-eme ịga ịpụọ ma wee laba dị chọọ ọdọ gbachie anyị na-eji ihe anyị na-ekwu ngwọ anyị akụọ ya were ya na-agbachi ụlọ ị nwere ike ịhapụ ya gị gaa Lagos ị nwere ike ịhapụ ya gị gaa abroad ịga bakwa ga-alaghachi ụlọ gị ka dịkwa ngwongwo gị ka dị dịghị onye egwepụ ya so gị awụrụ mmadụ zuo ozi ọnwa ife anyị eme ịtụ obere izu ozi ọhali Ọhafịa ewere akwa otu ukwu akwa olu were yiwe gị ukwu a na-akụrụ gị iri obere onye ozi dị n'ebe m ọyawu omenala anyị omenala ọha ọ wụrụ ọka dị ọgwụ ịtụ egwu a Chineke adị n'ihe egbepụsị omenala ọha ịtụ egwu Chineke adịkwa so ekeleta m gị ike gị Mazi Onyeibe igwebasa this topic of go back to your roots. Let us go back to our roots so that fear of God will be in us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mazi Onyeibe, and God bless.
You see, it is as simple as ABCD. You can't tell me you are fighting for Biafra where you don't love your ancestors. It is yes.